Hi everyone, welcome to a course on Agentic coding, the future of software development. What is agentic coding? Agentic coding represents the use of autonomous or semi autonomous agents that can reason about the software project, plan development tasks, write and test code. Instead of merely suggesting code completions, agentic systems take initiative, execute multiple steps, and deliver tangible results, and create pull requests. Traditional versus agentic paradigm shift. In the traditional AI assistant, it is reactive. It is line or snippet based. It is short term. It just suggests code. It gives chat or inline suggestions and it needs human in the loop. However, agentic coding is a paradigm where it is proactive. Repository or system level, it has long term code based memory, execute code, run stash, mission style delegation, and human as a supervisor role. LLMs provide reasoning capabilities and generate context-aware code solutions. Interfaces to interact with file systems, terminals, and compilers are given by tool use APIs. Modules that maintain context is called as memory and planning. Secure sandboxes or virtual machines where agents run and test code safely are called as execution environments. Review and gating mechanisms via pull requests, test gates, or human approvals for quality control. These are the architecture behind coding, agentic coding currently. So, how does behavior run in action? Detecting and resolving build errors automatically without human intervention, automatic CI/CD fixes. Reading GitHub issues, cloning repos, writing patches, testing them, and submitting pull request, end-to-end PR generation, and updating deprecated API across hundred of files with consistency and accuracy. Proposing new features based on user analytics and usage patterns, and monitoring runtime logs, and proposing fixes for reliability and performance issues. Why agentic coding matters? It accelerates development, reduces human errors, scales your expertise from one senior developer to multiple AI agents, and it enables continuous improvement. Critical challenges we have with agentic coding is to ensure agents produce correct and efficient and maintainable code, secure sandboxes where vulnerabilities are caught at the right time, and traceability where each decision is noted and the review documents are made, and collaboration ethics where authorship review responsibility must be addressed as AI agents become more autonomous contributors. Agentic coding is coding done by agents, not just with them. The evolution help AI helped me write code to AI working on my code base under my supervision. Top five agentic coding platforms right now is Jules by Google, which is which runs on its Google Gemini 3.1 Pro right now, and Claude Code, where Claude Opus is the current model right now. GitHub Copilot agent mode, Codex of OpenAI, etc. The path forward. Agentic coding shifts developers from implementers to supervisor of AI agents. Leading platforms from Google, Anthropic, Microsoft, and others are already available. The future of the AI development is here. Are you ready to supervise? Hi guys, welcome to this course. This course is brought to you by Codegres app developers. We are a web and app developer agency based out of Bangalore, India, and we do things like UI UX design, app development, web development, support and maintenance, business consultation, etc. So as you can see, these are some of our reviews, and this is about what we do. And we also have some of the apps we have released on the Play Store. So we have 30 plus apps on the Play Store so far, and also on the App Store. So welcome to this course, and all the best. Thank you. What is possible today with AI or agentic coding? It could be very simple CRMs like your lead management and project management software, something like this. Or it could be very advanced systems like your compliance trackers, very advanced, very advanced systems where advanced cron jobs and other things are run. Also, you can have ERPs, entire ERP systems which are built with AI. This is just a sample of some of the deployed project we are having live for some of our customers. As you can see, each module is increasingly complex. It could be a HR dashboard where you track employees, payroll, pay slips. It could be a recruitment module. It could be an onboarding module, or it could also be a finance dashboard where you track all your expenses, all your invoices, all your vendors, their projects, your bills and expenses, maybe your payroll, maybe the payouts, maybe the ledgers, maybe the vouchers, maybe the journal entries, maybe the chart of accounts, maybe the reports, your P&L, balance sheet, tax and compliance, analytics, bank reconciliation, or it could be a designer dashboard where you see your customers, you see the customer details, you see their quotations, you see their plans, you see their timelines, you see the design and 2D, 3D models that you have uploaded, and you could see the orders, payouts, any snacks issues. Maybe you want to create a quotation for them. Maybe you want to have a futuristic UI for the same. Maybe you want to create a design software, something no one has created before, something which you can play around. Maybe create a room, maybe create something in 3D. This is what is possible with today's agentic AI. Thank you. Hi guys. So some people say it is not possible to generate very good apps using Base 44 or very good apps using vibe coding, etc. However, today I'll show you some of the apps we have built so far, which has exceeded our expectations. And over the course, we'll also share some of the tactics we have used to generate these apps with us. First, I'll show you one of the admin apps for one of the CRM project. So as you can see, this is the app we have generated, where you can see it's a very detailed dashboard, and it's a very detailed CRM, and the entire thing has just been generated through prompts. If you can see on the left here, everything has been generated through prompts. So it is not true that you cannot generate production ready apps with vibe coding. You can definitely generate very good apps using vibe coding. However, there are some rules or some general rules which you have to follow in order to be successful at vibe coding. Some of those can be thought chaining or prompt chaining, where you continuously give prompts based on the previous prompt so that the chain of thought gets retained, and the app can then access the memory and the data of the previous prompts, and then it can think better basically. So that is the concept of prompt chaining. However, I'll also share some of the other apps which have been generated using just a very simple prompt. For example, this is one of the apps we had generated, which is almost similar to your Zoho invoice dashboard, where you have invoices, you have quotes, you have customers, you have items, you have time tracking, you have expenses, you have payments, reports, etc. So as you can see, this is a very detailed solution where you can very easily generate production ready apps using vibe coding. And if you see the prompt here, as you can see, within just four prompts the entire app was created, and this could be possible within just four prompts. So just imagine the level of detail which you can go if you get let's say 200 or 300 prompts, and if you implement thought chaining or prompt chaining, and just imagine the level of apps that can be built using vibe coding or base 44. Thank you. Hi guys, today we'll learn about some of the AI foundations. We'll learn about prompt engineering, we'll learn about vibe coding, and we'll learn about what is the difference between AI workflows and AI agents. So basically, what is generative AI? AI that creates new content. It could be text, images, code, music. By learning patterns for massive amounts of training data is called as generative AI. So it is trained on billions of text examples. It learns language patterns, relationships. It predicts the next most likely word, generates coherent contextual responses. The key difference is in traditional AI, it analyzes and classifies existing data, whereas generative AI creates new original content. Examples you may know include ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Midjourney, GitHub Copilot, DALI, etc. Key concepts you need to know. What is an LLM? An LLM is an AI trained on text to understand and generate human-like language. It is language learning model, the brain behind ChatGPT, Claude, etc. Then we have tokens. What is token? Token is roughly four characters or three-fourth of a word. It affects cost and limits. Example, hello world is about two tokens. So tokens is just a unit of text processing. What is temperature? Temperature is the amount of control you have, which is the creativity control factor. When the temperature is low, it is more predictable and more consistent, the output. However, if the temperature is high, you will get more creative, varied kind of outputs. You generally use a low temperature for facts, high temperature for brainstorming, etc. Then we have something called as context window, where it is the AI's working memory. It means how much text AI can consider at once. So it is like the memory of AI, where how much content it can store at once. Then the bigger memory it has, the higher cost it is, and the better the output it can give. Now we'll focus on something called as prompt engineering. What is prompt engineering? It is an art and science of communicating effectively with AI to get the results you want. Prompt engineering is similar to your Googling skills, where Google is now being replaced by AI or prompt based text, where think of it as learning to speak AI's language. Same AI, different prompts, wildly different results. Good prompts save time, reduce errors, unlocks AI capabilities most people miss. The secret is AI cannot read your mind. The more context, specificity, and structure you provide, the better output. However, if you give garbage in, the output will be garbage out. If you give a great prompt, it will give a great output. So let's learn something called as the craft framework, which is a simple formula for effective prompts, which is context. Who are you? What's the situation? Background info. What is your role? What role should AI play? Expert, assistant, critic. Action. What specific tasks should be completed? Format. How should the output look? Length, structure, style. Tone. What voice? Is it professional, casual, technical, friendly, etc.? So craft in action, you can see here. If you just say write about customer service, there is no particular context, no action, no format, no goal. It is very vague. However, if you give a very specific prompt like I manage customer support at an e-commerce company, we had a shipping delay affecting 200 orders. Act as a senior customer experience specialist. Write an apology email that acknowledges the issue, explains what happened, and offers a 15% discount. Keep under 150 words with clear subject line, empathetic but professional. So this gives you a better output. So let's learn about vibe coding. So vibe coding is nothing but building software by describing what you want in plain English and letting AI write the code. It was a term coined by Andrej Karpathy. Uh, it is a huge paradigm shift in the way we think about vibe coding. The old way was that you learn syntax, write code, debug, and repeat. However, vibe coding describes intent. AI generates code and iterates with feedback. You focus on what AI handles the how. Popular vibe coding tools currently are Cloud Artifact, Cursor, Replit Agent, V0.dev, Bold.new, and GitHub Copilot. No coding experience is required to start vibe coding. However, how to do it effectively is start with the end goal in mind, iterate in small steps, build incrementally, test often, refine, be specific about visuals, colors, layout, spacing, AI, deeds, details, share error messages, copy paste errors for AI to debug. An example prompt could be build me a simple expense tracker, features needed, add expenses with amount, category, date, show total by category as a pie chart, filter by date range, etc. So you want a clean, modern blue accent color style. Now we have something called as AI workflows and AI agents. So there is a technique called as chain of thought prompting, which makes AI think step by step for better results. Instead of asking directly for an answer, you ask AI to show its reasoning step by step. This dramatically improves accuracy on complex tasks. An example could be think through this step by step. Before answering, list your assumptions. Show your reasoning, then conclude. Rate your confidence 1 to 10. An example could be should we launch this product? Analyze whether we should launch this product. First, list the key factors to consider. Then, evaluate each factor. Finally, give a recommendation with your confidence level. The result is a more thorough, accurate, and transparent analysis. Next, what are AI agents? AI systems that can take actions autonomously to achieve goals. They combine LLMs with tools, memory, and decision making loops. Key components are persona, who the agent is, how it behaves, tools, actions it can take, guardrails, what it should never do, success metrics, how you measure if it works, Some real world example could be a customer support agent who handles tickets autonomously, a research agent who finds and summarizes information, a coding agent which writes and debugs code, a data analyst agent which queries databases and reports. Key takeaways are that a good prompt with context specificity and format can give you better outputs. Chain of thought will give you better reasoning. We also learned about vibe coding, where system codes for you. Then we learned about AI agents, where AI does a task for you as an agent. Then we have AI as a collaborator, not a replacement, but a powerful partner. Your domain expertise plus AI will give you superpowers. So one advice is keep experimenting, try one new AI task each day, and keep learning. Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay. So, hi guys. Today we'll learn about some of the applications of AI, as well as how you can wipe code your way to a production ready application. And I'll also walk you through some of the agentic coding tools that are available out there in the market today. So probably 1 year ago or 2 year ago, right? AI was not so matured enough to code with AI. There were a lot of applications using LLMs and other models where people could code with AI. However, most of it was guesswork or trial and error. However, lately, more so in the past 4 months, 5 months, etc., there has been a lot of development in AI coding as well as agentic coding kind of things. So, the maturity in the level of or the quality of code written by the AI agents are extremely better than what could have been written by a human. So I'll just share my screen and show some of the projects that we have personally done using AI, and then I'll walk you through how you can copy the same process in order to build an application on your own. So can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. So basically, when you have a problem statement in mind, right? One of the first things you want to do is you have to select a coding agent for your task. For example, there are many platforms out there today in the market. For example, there is Google AI Studio, there is Base44, there is Google Jules, there is Cloud Code, which lets you code inside the editor and inside the uh, IDE, as well as there is many editors like Codex by OpenAI, etc. So you have to first choose a AI editor or AI coding agent for your particular problem statement. Then what you have to do is I'll just also show before I start with the project. I'll show what kind of applications can be built using AI, right? So for example, I'll just show this particular application. This is an ERP which we have built for one of our customers. Uh, so traditionally, if you had to build such an application, right, such a well designed and very robust application, it would take a lot of time. So what we have specifically observed is that for you to build such a robust application, before AI coding or before vibe coding came into existence, it would take a lot of time. Probably this particular application would have taken maybe like a year's time to build the entire ERP. However, this particular application right now, what you're seeing, was built in a span of just hardly 25-30 days. So this is the level of detail and the kind of applications that can be built using AI and AI coding tools and AI coding agents. Again, if even if the AI coding agent or through vibe coding, you can't build the entire thing, right? it will at least give you a head start in terms of what can be built in a particular time, and you can then take the code and accelerate the process of developing the code, and you can then continue the project. So coming back to the problem at hand, I'll just make some assumptions on the given problem statement and try to build some of the applications. So for the purpose of this project, I'll use something called as Google AI Studio, because Google has recently released the Gemini 3 Pro model, which has exceeded many of the benchmarks of Gemini 2.5, as well as some of the GPT-4, GPT-5 models. So we'll use this particular model to build the application, and I'll share the link of this as well in the chat window. I'll just share it. So you can try along with me when you are seeing this particular application. So I'll just copy paste this whatever the thing is given to ChatGPT first, and it's a lot of random things, right? We need to be very focused, and we need to be very precise on what we need to build. So right now it is giving a marketplace app full. It is giving a lot of random things like tech stack. It is choosing storage. It is choosing payment. It is choosing real time tracking. It is choosing etc. However, be very mindful, because this is kind of the tech stack it chooses is a little bit dated, which means it is choosing the traditional approach, not the wipe coded approach. So what I'll do is I'll just write another prompt saying generate a PRD. PRD meaning product requirement document for a, can you guys still see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. For a digital marketplace where users can sell or buy their personal projects. So it is just a digital marketplace where you can buy or sell personal projects, which means personal development projects like React, Node.js, code, etc. I'll just give something like this. So it will generate a detailed PRD. We'll go through it if it is matching what we want to build. For sellers, monetize unused or side projects, easy uploads. For buyers, verified and high quality development templates, ability to compare multiple sellers, project for each tech stack, instant access after purchase. Okay. Digital delivery, which means instant download link once a payment is made, and seller experience, upload the demo. Okay. This looks like what we want to build. So I'll just ignore the rest of the things, and I'll just copy just the features of it. Mm, And one of the advantages of Gemini is its context length. So Gemini 2.5 came with 2 million token of context length, which means it could read a lot of text and it could understand the minute details of it, which was a breakthrough in AI models. And that is when each of the AI computation models try to increase the context length, etc. So what I'll also do is I'll put add a red and black theme maybe, or I'll put a blue and black theme, blue and green theme, blue and green theme for the styling. So I can also give reference links for this. I'll just build it for now and let's see what it can build. I'll also show you how you can deploy some of these applications. So that once you build it for the purpose of this hackathon, you can deploy it, or it might not be this particular hackathon. You can generate uh, maybe some other project and some of these things. There are again a lot of agents available. This is just one of the agent available, which is AI Studio. If it takes a lot of time, I'll also walk you through some of the other agents, so you know which AI agent to choose for what task, if time permits. And these tools I am showing right now, this AI Studio is a free tool, which is giving you access to like cloud code with Anthropic as well as Codex as well as Base44. It has credits, so it might not be free for a lot of users. However, AI Studio by Google is free for a lot of use cases, and you can develop more in-depth applications without losing credits. Why we are encouraging you to use AI to build applications is that each and every one of us, as well as the outside world, has access to AI today. And if you are not using AI as a tool to make advantage yourself, it is of no use. So that is why we want you to use AI to get a competitive advantage in terms of you how to use the AI tools in order to build a full stack application, and then use it to your advantage to build more and more complex applications.
Yeah. Maybe in the meantime, while we're creating this app, we can maybe switch to and like not maybe a detailed app, but maybe an overview for the other agents that are available to us.
Sure, I'll just show some of the agents that are available. I also have a presentation prepared for, again, this is AI generated. Uh, so what is agentic coding is, again, this is the future which we are foreseeing for the next 2025 to 2026, where the user does not code actively. However, he has a swarm of AI agents coding for him or her, where the agents code for them, and they do multi-step task, and they have memory, they have execution, all these things they will do. And I'll just show some of the other agentic tools available. For example, there is Jules by Google, again jules.google.com. Here what happens is, again, you can choose an AI model like Gemini 2.5, Gemini 3, etc. And you can directly link your GitHub repo. For example, as you can see, I have more than hundreds of repositories here. So what I can do is, probably I can choose a repository. For example, um, let's say some random repository, right? And I can choose the branch that I want to work on, and I can tell it a task, something like read the readme. There is an error in the payment screen. Payment screen. Please fix the error of no transaction ID found. So I'm just doing a random thing. However, Jules has been graded as a very good software SWE agent, which means it can solve bugs for you, it can do software tasks for you, and it can do it very interactively. I'll just show how this particular tool works. So I have selected an interactive plan. So it will first go through the code already existing in this particular simple commons repository. And as you can see, I have I already have a swarm of tasks which I have already given the agent, which it has previously done. This is the advantage of agentic coding, where for example, right, there is a daily session limit of 1 out of 15. This is for the free version. However, if I have a pro version of Jules, I get 100 tasks per day. I can give 100 software engineering tasks for the Jules, and it can complete. It could be things like so resolving very hard to decipher bugs, or it could be very common things like building a boilerplate and generating code from scratch. So the advantage of Jules is that it also asks clarification questions for you, so that you can give the clarity to the AI what you want to build and what you are asking for. So even if the first prompt is wrong, right, by the second or third prompt, you can maybe tinker the prompt to enable you to do what you actually want to do. So meanwhile, I'll just check if this is done. Yeah. So this particular application took about 309 seconds, which is about 5 minutes. And this is the application it has developed. I'll just try to run it on a full screen and show you this application. Okay, I'll just show you this application. For example, right, search templates, I'll search for e-commerce or authentication. So the search is working and your filters are working fine, and you have your individual screen, which is your buy now screen. You also have the seller, which is already there in the portal, and you have a login screen for the seller. I think my purchases, you already can so you already can see how deep or how in depth this application is. So this is the buyer, and I'll log out and I'll log in as a seller. And okay, the seller, it is showing what sales was done, and it is allowing me to add a new product. I'll just add a new product and check if it is working. Test product category, and put it as microservice. Price, I'll put it as $50. Node.js project. Test project. I'll upload a sample zip file. Okay, I'll publish the product. So active products is showing as one. Your product is showing as test product, and I can edit this particular product. I think. Okay, it's not allowing me. Then I can log out. So now I know what depth it has provided. I can go on developing the product. For example, I'll write for the buyer. For the buyer, I'll go into the buyer and see what is left. I think the license and the zip is not showing. Show the license in a pop-up. Pop-up. I'll also give download as dummy zip for download zip. Similarly, I'll go to seller side and I'll say for the seller give option to edit product. I'll just give this prompt. So you can go on developing the application just like this. So I'll just go on to the other coding agent which we were discussing. So as you can see, it has come up with a counter question, which is I have explained the code. It seems the app uses an external app store for payments, which likely explains the no transaction ID found. Before I can create a plan to fix this, I need to confirm a few things. Isn't receiving the purchasing confirmation? Is this happening after a successful payment in the Google Play Store? So as you can see, this simple comments is a Android application, and even for the Android applications, which is maybe not web and mobile, all these AI tools can easily come up with the PRs or pull requests. I'll just write this as yes. And I'll write this as, could you describe the exact steps to reproduce this error? For example, what happens right before and after the error message appears? Okay. I'll say error appears after payment is successfully done. I'm just writing a random thing here. However, uh, if you know the exact problem or what you want to build, right, it will be much more powerful than writing randomly. Is there a specific screen where this error is displayed? Payment screen. You can just give very minimal inputs and it will think on its own and it will come up with a solution. It will ask for maybe two or three more prompts, and it will then generate a PR, which is a pull request, which is linked to the GitHub repository. I'll just show one of the repositories we have recently built using entirely AI, uh, so that you know how it can help you. Let's show some other application. So this particular repository, the entire thing was generated using Google Jules. As you can see, the entire Swagger authentication, the Docker request, everything is generated using AI. I'll just show the commit history for you to know what has happened. So if you see here, it shows myself with the user as well as it shows some other blue color thing. But if I go to the view commit details, right, you'll know the real fact that has happened. So, for example, if I go to this particular commit, as you can see, everything is written with AI, and you can see the commit messages. This was written by Google Jules because no human writes a GitHub commit so detailed. I'll just show you the Jules what it has authored. For example, I'll show the branch so you know how it has generated the code. For example, right, this was one of the branch which is multi-session and uploads. And if I show the commits, yeah. So each commit in the branch is done by Google Jules. It's a lot of code. Sometimes it writes 40,000 lines of code in a single session. So that is the power of AI today. And okay, I'll also write. Okay, so this particular app has again been completed. I'll just log in as the buyer and I'll go to my purchases. I will use license, refresh, log in as buyer. I just want to show you the PRs it generates so that purchase. So I will also show one more AI agent for this particular session, which is Base44, which is again a very good, extremely good at design. I will also show some of the applications we have built using Base44. For example, right, we have built a lot of applications using Base44. I'll show probably one or two applications. I'll show this one. So on the left, you can see that uh, right. However, you'll see the result on the right. Is this particular result. I'll also show the deployment of how you can move out of this AI agent and deploy it on your own link. Yeah, so this was the application built by that, where, for example, task management is a problem in all organizations. So there is task management where you have project management, where you have all the projects you are working on. You have team members which each project is assigned to, and you have tasks where each task is assigned to a project, and you can change the status of a project. For example, you can change the status from to do to progress, review completed, estimated hours. All these things can be generated using just Base44 or any other tool. So the wow factor in how the application will be developed, and your expertise in how good you are how good you are at in prompting the application to write something, and how in depth your understanding is about your own code base. So I'll just say yes. I'll say yes. I'll say yes. Yes. Let's see what it generates. This error has been resolved. I'll just refresh this page. And if I log in as buyer and if I go to purchases now and view license, as you can see, the pop-up has been generated. You can go in depth and you can, as you can see, the zip file has been downloaded, and you can go in depth however depth you want, and you can build the application and just create a new product called test component component $500 React test this product. I'll edit. Yeah, the edit component has also been created. So this is the speed and power of AI. So I'll now show how to deploy this app on your local system, make some code level edits and deploy it. So I'll download this particular zip file. So I downloaded it in this devmarket.zip. I'll go to, I'll extract that zip. And because I know it's a React application, I can just type npm install, which will install the node packages. Resolve any errors, and I can just deploy this. I'll close all these applications. We'll see what it did. Yeah,
Be lagging a
this
bit.
is what I wanted to show you. So it has suggested what steps it will take, and it has also suggested what plan it will take, and you can approve this plan, or you can again give it a prompt saying you want a different step or you want to change particular steps here. But once I approve plan, it will generate a pull request in this particular code linked with this GitHub repository. I'll also try to run this application, the local one of Google AI Studio. I'll do npm run dev, see if it is working. It is working. So some of the AI agents have a vendor lock-in, which means it does not allow you to export the project very easily out of that particular platform. However, Google AI Studio is very liberal. So as you can see on the local host, I have the entire application which was developed with AI Studio running on my own. And as you can see, I can view license and do other things. And if I go to the code, I can go to pages, and as you can see, all the code is very much modular code. If I go to seller dashboard, it might be a little, yeah, it is very modular code. So if you want to change some of the code somewhere, for example, if you want to change total downloads to total final downloads or something random like that, you can change and it will change the things. So I'll go to here, total final downloads, it changed the thing. So you can use this as it is, and I'll also show some of the deployment strategies. For example, you can do npm run build.
Yes. I mean,
This
I
is
think
just a front end
towards
only application, which will, yeah,
yeah, I was just saying we are nearing maybe a little towards the end of the session. So let's
yeah,
wrap
yeah,
this up a little quickly, then we'll move on to the Q&A
yeah.
round.
I'll wrap this up.
Yeah, yeah.
So right now I have the build file generated in the distribution file. So what I'll do is I'll probably go to a deployment service, front end only deployment service like Netlify, and I'll go to the drop Netlify drop, and I'll just drag and drop this particular distribution file to that. So you can choose a very uh, combination of approaches. It could be you are choosing Netlify, Render, Vercel, Heroku, any of the deployment platform. So as you can see, it is already deployed on this particular domain. So if I log in as buyer, you can also put the authentication inside it. However, just in uh, 5 to 10 minutes of time, you have already somewhat mini MVP ready. This is the power of AI, and I'll try to show what Jules has generated. Yeah, as you can see, it has generated the diff or the differences between the code, and if you give it a little time, it will also generate the pull request for you to approve or reject. This is the future of AI, and this is where AIB is headed. Yeah. Now we are open for questions.
Yeah. So maybe before we open up the questions, I'll quickly start addressing a couple of questions we've already received. So I think there's some confusion about whether or not you need to take the problem statements that we mentioned on the page. So I think we mentioned like something about like carbon credits and then like veg non-veg या फिर culture circle जैसा marketplace for sneakers. So I just want to clarify, those are all sample problem statements, right? They're not to be taken exactly and then created. Of course, because you have an example, you have an understanding of what I need to think about when I'm creating a particular app. So, it's also mentioned on the page. So, for example, as I mentioned, if it's a physical delivery good, then of course it needs to have, some semblance of tracking. If not like a very real time
tracker of, let's say a shipment picked up or shipment arrived at the work at the warehouse, you don't need to go maybe extremely in depth. Of course, we're not, anticipating that you'll have an entirely complete app ready. But at the same time, please just ensure that you're adding features or adding updates or implementing some features which are supposed to be there for that particular type of problem statement. So just to clarify, please don't take the exact problem statements. If you take them up, of course you are free to do so, but as I mentioned in the chat as well, there will be some reflection of that on your scoring. The whole idea of this exercise, of this hackathon, is to make sure that you are taking up the thinking part, right, and the AI is just taking up the part of doing the actual work. So you are free to ideate, you're free to take up whatever innovations that come to your mind. So just as a very quick example, I'm not saying that this may have any financial validity, but let's say that someone really wants to buy an industrial type of glue, right? So maybe a marketplace where industrial glues are sorted and sold, maybe in bulk, right? This has to be just something that you either take up from personal experience, or maybe it's a business idea that you have, or any other type of inspiration that you have. So things that we are mentioning on the page, they are more to serve as an inspiration and to guide you in the right direction of what features need to be in my app that I'm going to create. So I hope that I've addressed pretty straightforwardly. We've also received a couple of questions asking, if we have to deploy the full stack app. So I think Naveen has pretty much gone through, how you can use AI and vibe coding to first create the app and then deploy it. In case you want us to go into a little bit more detail about it, we can do so maybe after we address a couple of questions, right? I think the next few questions, let me just scroll through the chat, right? Can we build the app using the AI? So, okay, yeah. One more question that we've received is that basically, if you have to create the entire app using AI, then how will that work as a competition? So now I want to address this by saying, of course, you're not expected to create the entire app by AI, right? Like otherwise, what is the point of us giving you a month to work on your projects? The point is that let's say you want to, as I mentioned, मेरा glue वाला जो example था. Now, let's say that you want to have a photo of a glue making machine, just a hypothetical. Now, you're not expected to go out and shoot a photo and then add it to your web page or add it to, like the splash page of your app. The point is to cut out wherever, whatever mehnat, yeah, whatever, grunt work that you have to do in order to create something like this. The job is to give all of that to AI so that you are free to do the actual work of it. Nobody is telling you to, make the entire code base by itself. You need to, start from scratch and create everything. No, you can ask AI to create a framework and then maybe build an app around it. So I hope I've clarified that as well, that while we are not expecting you to take up the entire work, we're also not expecting you to create everything on AI. If everything is going to, be created by AI, then we would be sending the voucher to the AI. Then what would be the point of you people participating and, learning about this? So hope that's also addressed. Mm, just one second. So that means we need to create the full-fledged marketplace with buyer and seller dashboard. Yeah, exactly. So of course, with the anticipation and with the expectation that this is going to be a marketplace, that means that you need to have one portal addressing, what are the views available for a marketplace seller. And of course, that will have some insights, that will have, how many people are buying my app or buying my product in a particular month. Maybe it's filtered by time, maybe it's filtered by customer profile. But as I mentioned, you need to pick and choose one aspect of your project, right? Don't get into like too much focus about what is it that don't get into the nitty-gritty details. Of course, it needs to be functional and it needs to be aesthetic, but we're not expecting you to have a fully formed dashboard, right? Where you're going to be shown entire sales cycle over the last few years. No, if you want, you can just have a small section related to some of the insights that you'll get from your app, from the customers, sorry, from the seller side. Now, from the buyer side, it's a little bit more straightforward because that just means you'll have like a listing page and maybe a couple of reviews and ideas. So if you want, you can also focus entirely on the buyer or entirely on the seller. If you want to cover both of them, then we'll, mark it accordingly. So you are completely open to take it up however you want. Of course, if it's only going to be something that you're focusing on the seller side, we'll also need to score it accordingly. So if you're just taking up the seller side of the marketplace, that means that you don't have to do all the work for the buyer side. So your seller side of the part of the app needs to be that much more robust. Then we'll be expecting you to have, a little bit more of data involved. Then you will need to have those dashboards where you can drag and drop to find that information. Conversely, if you're focusing just on the seller side, we expect you to have a really good splash page, a really good reviews page, for example, a really good rating system, maybe like a comment section where people can, write their reviews. So you need to pick and choose accordingly. And we'll also not score it, either in the extreme ends, as long as the objective of the hackathon is met. Then you'll be receiving a very, very fair valuation based on what you have published. Yeah. Now Abhineshri is mentioning it's fully online. So I think since you guys have a couple of technical questions as well, I'll ask Naveen to take all of them forward. If you can just maybe one by one start sending your questions and we'll take them up one at a time. So Naveen, Abhineshri is asking, is it fully online?
Yeah, the link that I just showed, it's fully online. I'll just share that link as well.
Sure. So, but at the same time, of course, we are expecting a link of the project that you're sending. But at the same time, because the submission portal is going to request or ask you for a zip file, you need to also include all of that in a zip file and then upload it. So, maybe you can have like a text or a Word document which just mentions the link, and we'll take that up as well. But to look at the source code or like the MVP files itself, we would need that zip file upload. So please make sure you're doing both of them. I think Puram is asking, netlify.com is a paid tool. So Naveen, please take this up.
It's not a paid tool. You have to log into Netlify to use the drop functionality, but it is not paid one. It is a free one.
Yeah. Okay. So Abhinay Shri has another question. Can we do apps for different domains? Like, I think you wanted to ask if it's a travel app, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So again, as long as the app that you're using, or like the app that you're creating, right, that should serve the function of a marketplace app. Now, something like Make My Trip is also a marketplace app, right? Technically, it is connecting buyers, let's say, who have a hotel, to sellers. Sorry, sellers who have a hotel to buyers who want to make bookings on the hotel. So of course, if it's a travel app, if it's a sneaker app, if it's a railway booking app, all of these things do technically fall under the marketplace. It just you need to clarify and you need to build features accordingly. So if you're, for example, using a marketplace app for travel, right? Of course, then in that case, it would heavily focus on user reviews. It would also heavily focus on, images and videos of the property, let's say. It would also focus on the rating that customers have given. It would focus on features such as this place is a good place to get breakfast, or the rooms are really clean. It would have these tags, right? So you can use or you can create different domains. Just make sure you are incorporating the right elements. Uh, for example, a website like Make My Trip, which is a travel app, right? That's not typically going to involve any delivery as such. It's just a facilitator. So in that case, you need to then put your focus on other things which are important, not, like there's no one size fits all for this particular app. And that is where AI is also going to really help you. And that is why we also wanted to make AI a big part of it. Because you might be, not coming from a lot of experience on the basis of what is a good idea for my app. And that is also where AI can help you. It can suggest features, it can help you implement them in the right way. It can tell you if a particular feature is maybe not something that is fully useful here or an alternative to that feature, right? So we expect you to use that to your full advantage. Yeah, any more questions, folks? So I wanted to apologize because I think we are a little bit past of our session. We have kind of concluded with our vibe coding demo and everything. In case you guys have any questions, you can feel free to stick around and we will address them one by one. In case you don't have any questions and in case you have somewhere else to go, or if you want to drop off, you can do so. Anyways, this recording will be shared with you later on, both on email and on the hackathon page itself. So you can just check it out later in case you're all clear right now. Right. So Arka Biswas is asking, what about supply chain support apps? Example, is a product being imported fall under it? I am not really sure if I understand your question. If you could just maybe unmute and clarify, that would really be helpful, Arka.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So yes, so there is this body called the Bureau of Indian.
Hi everyone. Today we'll learn about a tool called Google Jules. Jules is an experimental coding agent that helps you fix bugs, documentation, build new features. It acts as a software agent and it helps you develop software asynchronously. So let's see how to use Jules. So first you have to visit jules.google.com. You need to sign in with your Google account, accept the privacy notice, connect your GitHub account, uh, choose all the specific repos that you want to connect to Jules, and you want to start your task. Let's go ahead and let's start using Jules. So I already have many repositories set up with me with many of my accounts. However, for the purpose of this recording, I'll show by connecting a new account. So it's asking me to connect to GitHub. I'll just click on it. I'm already connected to GitHub. So I'll just allow some my GitHub login. So as you can see, I can allow what repositories Jules has access to. I'll just give only selected repositories or all repositories, and I'll save it. So once connected, I can create tasks here. I can connect repositories here, and I can start doing some tasks. So first of all, I want to build something from scratch and also show fixing bugs in the production environment. So what I'll do is I'll just randomly create a new repository. I'll go to GitHub. I'll go to repositories. I'll create a new repository. And I'll go to ChatGPT and ask for simple app ideas. Simple web app ideas around YouTube or something random like that. Okay, it is saying YouTube video summarizer, playlist organizer, sentiment analysis, preview thumbnail generator, etc. So what I'll do is I already have one idea. I'll just give ChatGPT to make a plan around that idea. So I'll ask ChatGPT to make a product plan for building YouTube URL to MP4 downloader. Okay, looks like this is not this is against the terms of service. What I'll do is I'll do the reverse, which is make a product plan for building auto YouTube video generator and uploader. This is good. We'll develop this later. However, for now we'll develop something more simple. which is something like Yandex and YouTube video posted file uploading MP4. Something more simplistic. This looks good. What I'll do is I'll copy this markdown text. I'll create this new repository as YouTube video uploader. I'll create a public repository, YouTube video uploader. I'll link this repository in the video as well. So the repository is created. What I'll do is I'll go to I clone this repo and I will add the readme to the repository. I clone repository, YouTube video uploader. Why I'm doing this is just to give context to the Jules on what to do. I don't want to keep writing or I don't want to think about what I want to do next. So I will just give context to the API, YouTube video uploader. I'll just create a new file called as readme.md and I'll copy paste the relevant parts from the ChatGPT output, which is this. I will remove this. I'll remove this part. I give the text as I'll save this and I'll push this update to the GitHub repository. I'll just write this as create a readme. So for those of you who don't know what tool I'm using for Git commits, this is called as GitHub Desktop, which allows you to push and pull and manage the branches of GitHub very easily. You can set it up GitHub Desktop very easily. You can refer tutorials for the same. So as you can see, I have written the readme file, YouTube video poster, some MP4 file. Create a web app where users can upload MP4 and generate a thumbnail that can be used there. The YouTube video poster. Users can optimally customize it. Okay. Generate thumbnail customization, export. Okay. So it has ChatGPT has given the tech stack. However, it has given the development roadmap. I'll remove this development roadmap. So as you can see, in traditional development, this is what the time it takes that ChatGPT is estimating. However, we'll show that this is not the case. We'll update timelines. What we will do is we'll go to Jules and ask it to please build this project for us. So what we'll do is we'll go back to Jules. We'll refer this repository YouTube and if refresh this page, and that's for YouTube. video uploaders. We'll tell it. So this is the link repository. We'll tell it create the app according to the what I'll do is I'll create an interactive plan instead of a plan. Interactive plan lets you know what the AI is thinking, and it will allow you to make some tweaks on the go. Our create a plan will just the AI will just start developing it instantly. So now what can happen is when this AI is building the repo here, you can connect as many sessions as you want. So as you can see here, there's a session limit that Jules offers. Jules uses Google Gemini Pro as well as advanced models, and it gives you 15 tasks on a rolling period of 24 hours in the Jules free plan, and it gives you 100 daily tasks for Pro plan. Whatever workflows I have been using, free plan was more than sufficient. 10 to 15 sessions I used to get. However, in the Pro plan, I was struggling to build more than 25 tasks in a day. That's how efficient Jules is. So as you can see, you can keep doing the other task, and Jules will get done with the task. And if it needs any update or input from you, it will show this icon which says need clarification. Otherwise, it will keep doing the task, how many ever tasks you give. For example, if I give, let's say I'll connect another repository called as some random repository, and I'll say build more features or whatever. This is typically a bad prompt. However, I'm just showing this for the purpose of the demo. So you can build multiple concurrent as well as asynchronous tasks where you can build multiple tasks without struggling to focus on a single task. So let's focus back on the project. It is saying I want to clarify a few things. Tech stack. Readme suggests few options for the tech stack. I'm leaning towards using React with Tailwind. For video processing, I'll use, you have different preference. What I'll do is I'll give one, sure, go ahead. 2, core features. The Readme suggests several core features. To start, I'll focus on MP4 upload, extraction. In the later version, is this a good idea? Yes. 3, deployment. The Readme also mentioned deployment. For now, I'll go local. Yes. So as you can see, when it's thinking, it shows planning or thinking icon, and then it shows needs clarification. And when there's a plan approval, it shows something like this. So it is saying it will create a client directory and a server directory. It will initiate the backend. It will initiate the front end. It will build the front end UI. It will create. Okay, I'll approve the plan. So as you can see, this is the future of agentic AI coding. I am not getting into the details of each of the file and what I need to code. I'm just mentioning the features, and based on that, the AI is coding for me. This is what is the future of AI agentic coding. Because as you can see, it is initiating the server directory. If you see the commands, if you have experience with Node.js and React applications, as you can see, these are the commands with to install and to install the servers, to install the npm packages, node packages, etc. So it is doing everything on its own. So as you can see, you can have multiple tasks running parallelly. I'll show just another one of my accounts to show you what I mean by that. So as you can see, I have made multiple repositories, 10, 20, 30 repositories, and I've given multiple tasks, and you can see the detailed things that it has done. For example, this one was for a project where it was unsuccessful because it was a huge chain. However, this one was where it wrote 62 lines of code, and it was a refactor. As you can see, it has made changes to multiple files. And then this was one of the huge project which was again a huge refactor. And as you can see, it has written 10,986 lines of code, which is a unified front end. So I wanted to combine 3 or 4 front end repositories into a single front end called as unified front end, and it has wrote 10,000 lines of code. So this is the capabilities of Jules because of the 2 million context length of Gemini 2.5 Pro. What I'll do is I'll come back to what we were working on and see if it is done. It seems there's a fundamental issue with the setup. On the client side, using the React repository, I'll update the plan. Sure, go ahead. So as you can see, I'm not doing much of the thinking here. It is just I'm asking the AI to build whatever it wants to build. I'm just giving go ahead, yes, 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 create according to readme, etc. Still, it will blow away our expectations. So imagine what will happen if we have something specific to do and we have direction to give, and we are very specific about what software bug we want to solve, and we are specific about which part of the code what to do, etc. I'll show those changes also in the coming videos. So this is the common thing with AI, which is that it is little slower to generate. It is you can do multiple tasks in the time it generates the code. So what I generally do is I work on probably 3 to 4 projects at a time, so that AI it takes AI the time to generate one and generate 1 or 2 tasks, complete the tasks, etc. And what I usually do is I have all the deployment set up in CI/CD pipelines, so that when one of the code commit is approved, etc., I can see the changes instantly, and I can make some changes, keep making changes for all the 3 projects concurrently. So right now the problem is that due to AI agentic coding, I'm not getting time to test the applications properly. The AI is building out and churning out features very quickly. So that is one challenge you will face once you start using AI agentic coding very extensively. Meaning when you start using asynchronous coding operations where you are working on multiple 3 or 4 projects at a time. So let's see what it is doing. It is creating a React app. As you can see, instead of waiting for the AI to complete, it is better to work on multiple projects so that you can leave AI to think and you can work on more projects. Otherwise, you can see what it is doing, which according to me wastes a lot of time. Generally works very well. We'll see the readme again what it is doing. So it ensures FFM, right? And then it extracts the thumbnail. Again, this is just a tool. Once you become expert at a tool, you'll start working or using the tool more and more efficiently. As you can see, you can see the code that has been generated, and you can make sense of what is happening. It has generated a readme, technical readme package or JSON to show all the dependencies. And it has generated a React file, React front end. Just let it do its task. Front end UI has been built with a file input for video uploads and a video player. Okay. Thumbnail extraction from the middle part of the video has been implemented. To generate a YouTube video poster from MyAiForThat. I wonder what features is building, what code, what kind of code it's building, etc. However, I'll just wait. I want you guys also to wait to see the result of what we are building. I'll just, since I know it has generated most of the code, I'll just ask it to just submit the code. Till then, I'll fake working on other projects so that it completes this task faster. I'd like to submit the code as requested, however, it seems there's an issue. I need to wait for it to complete. Okay. Any AI is very useful if you have specific or pinpoint tasks. However, right now it is better for even code generation from scratch. As you can see, what I have done is I have just told sure go ahead, yes, create the app according to README. I have given no inputs to the AI on what or how I want to write the code, etc. However, if you give that direction, you will find that AI is more effective at how it generates the agentic code. As you can see, instead of waiting, we can just build more and more projects, which will save a lot of time for us while the AI is thinking. However, we'll have a lot of projects to test. And ask it again to just submit the code. It has said all planned steps are successfully completed, ready for submission. Hi, here are some of the examples of apps created using Google Jules. This is a PDF reader, PDF Go app, entirely built using Google Jules. As you can see, there is settings, there is PDF reader, dark mode, etc. And this is one more app built entirely using Google Jules. It's a emergency SOS app where you can contact your emergency contact using this particular app, and there's an SOS activation, shake to activate feature, send SMS with location, and it sends sequential calls to your emergency contacts. Again, this is another app called as Notely, which is again developed using Google Jules. It's a clone of Google Keep, where you can make notes, you can make notes of drawings, you can make quick notes, store it in your local, etc. Thank you.
For example, I'll show HR dashboard, okay? I'll show some dashboard with all the changes done. 1 second. Yeah, this one is ready. So basically, what happens is this base 44 generates a very good front end. So this is the link of the front end that has got generated. Just open it. Can you see my entire screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So basically, this is the entire design of CRM. And as you can see, there are multi-tenants in this. It is also mobile responsive, which we recently did. And as you can see, it everything, all the design is AI generated. Okay. So now what we have to do is we have to migrate this from base 44. This is base 44 to something else, like a custom domain or a custom project we have to do. For that, first we have to run it on local system. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll first take the code zip file. So I'll just take the export project as zip. I have taken the zip previously. It is right now credits are over. It is showing, but I previously taken the export as zip. Data export. I have previously taken the zip, and we also have put a previously command to export the database. So the data, all the schemas in the, yeah, we had written once command saying we have to, I need to export all my application data from base 44 in a format I can easily import into Superbase. So it has already exported the schema files also. So what I'll do is I'll just open the file, what I have exported. Basically, it is This one is most latest updated code. 7 is there, and I'll go to the export page and try to export the schema again. Export. So I'll go to code, pages, data export. Okay. This is the export of the database we have got. Just open it. So there is lot of data and there is lot of schemas also. Okay. So there is insert and other operations here. So what I'll do is I will create a new GitHub repository just to maintain this thing. I'll just do that. And, I'll go to GitHub and I'll create a new folder calling it Lumi Design. And I will this is the Lumi Design. I will open file and local repository, choose performance, GitHub, Lumi Design. So this in this session I'll show the entire flow of how we'll connect everything. So I'll do that. So I create a repo, initialize, create repo. I publish this also saying code is private, publish repo. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll extract this Lumi design, latest code, Lumi design 7 it should be. Copy this and I'll extract 7.1. I'll extract. Downloads in folders, master documents. GitHub image design. Accounts. GitHub. So it is extracted here. I'll close this GitHub and I will run it in the terminal. So if I just do something like npm install, it will do the thing, but it won't generate the files necessary for basically it won't generate the required code even if we do npm install and npm start. So I'll also share this with you, Ravi. So shared one link on the Slack. It is a base44 supervised SDK converter. Okay. So what it will do is I go this base44 and this Ravana design. I will open the localhost instead. And I'll also share you this link and I'll go through the link what it is doing. So in this github.com there is a link with the self-hosting guide. Okay. So in this self-hosting guide, if you guys have any doubts, you can ask me. You can interrupt and ask me. Basically,
Sure.
yeah. So there is a set of instructions to follow in this self-hosting guide. If we follow this, it will set up the same project in the local host. So I'll just do that just to show and record the video. And sometimes the database does not get connected. I'll also show what to do in order to get that connected. So with this one, I'll do minus save just in case it does not save it. And I'll do this also minus save. Okay, save that is okay. And so universal SDK files. So in this repository only there is a source file. Okay. In the source file there's a custom client and custom SDK they have implemented. So first step is done here. So we'll go to the second step, which is copy the files into your base44 project. So what we'll do is I already have this file in some of the other project. So what I'll do is I'll just go here. I'll copy the source folder, Control C or copy. I'll come back to the main Lumi design folder. And here I can see the source, right? See, here I'll just copy paste. It will not delete anything. I'll just merge the file so that only the common file, whatever is there, it will get replaced. So basically, the old component which was there, it got replaced. Okay, old API custom SDK, this got replaced. Now what I will do is I will so Superbase I'll show here how to do. Before that, I will run the project and show so that you know how it will work. So I will do npm run dev. So it will give the link in the description here. Again, on first time it will not render because again there is an error. I think we need to do one more change. Okay, this coming as it is without any modification. So I'll just check if we have app.js. I'll go and check if we need to do any modifications. Okay, so it is not using stack. So we need to change the app.jsx also. We need to copy paste one code. So since this is an older project, it is not using time stack. So just doing this, it is connecting and running the project. So however, if you observe, there is no data here. So we need to connect the data. There is no customers. There is no data. There is nothing, no numbers. So all the data we need to put from the fetch from the database. So what I'll do is I'll again follow the tutorial. So I need to connect Superbase to the CLI. What I had done is previously I had created the project in Superbase. Just log into that, and I'll show what to do in this particular case. If I sign in and let's check this. One second. Basically, I have a project created here. I think this is the project Ravana theorem, and no project is here. Okay, this one I think it has. Mm, basically, if I run this particular project, what will happen is there is no table here yet created. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go to, these are the things. So what I'll do is I'll copy these things into a .ini file. So I'll do touch.ini.local. I'll open that .ini file. To paste these things, but I'll give the actual credentials. So I'll give this as the project URL. This is the project URL. This is the anonymous key. This is the anonymous key. And I'll go to project settings and the API keys. And I'll reveal this API key, copy, and I'll paste this in the again service role supervised key. And then the other things I'll ignore. So these three are enough to connect to the database. Okay. So again, I'll go back to this and I'll follow the thing. So it is saying npm install -g, it is already there. So superbase init I'll do in this project. I'll do superbase init. Yes, and so what
Sir,
it does is,
sorry to interrupt.
yeah.
Last time when I ran the first command, I got an error
Error, right?
saying
So this one,
yeah,
this global, right?
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So basically, it
it
has
was
been
saying that
deprecated. So you need to do npm install -g superbase. That's all. No at and no CLI.
okay, npm install -g superbase.
Correct, correct. So
Okay,
what it will do is it will install the superbase CLI.
okay,
And what will happen is right now, what will happen is it will install the CLI and superbase init installs this particular configuration inside the project. The superbase init, no? This will initiate superbase inside this project. Now what I'll do next is I'll do this thing where we need to do the database migration. So we have already exported the base44 data, okay?
yes, sir.
So we need to create the database schema now. So instead of copy pasting the schema, this is the error we will run into. So what we'll do is I'll copy this thing and again do 1 second cd slash superbase let me make directory migrations. Let's come back, and what I'll do is I'll paste this command and I'll touch this. I'll create this file called initial schema inside Superbase migrations and the initial schema. So in this initial schema, what I'll do now, this database file I have downloaded, the SQL file, no, SQL lumi.sql file. This file I'll copy paste. In fact, what I'll do is I'll not take the data. Data let it be there. What I'll do is I just need the schema, because schema is very important. Data I can put later also. So I'll copy the schema. I'll put inside this initial schema field. Okay. So all this is relationships between the databases. So now what I'll do is since I have already copied the schema inside the Lumi design, what I'll do is I'll do this step is also done. Next I'll do, instead of superbase db reset, right? This will do a lot of lengthy steps. Instead, what I'll do is I'll do supervised login. First, I'll do log out. So it logs out of any other project, etc. And I'll do supervised login. So it logs me in into the supervise. So I'll just copy this link. I'll open it in the same browser in which I have the file. Just give the OTP and copy this OTP into the so now it has logged in into the superbase. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll do superbase link. So some steps are little different. So I'll do superbase link. So this particular project is I think it is TTTY. Okay. So I'll choose the TTTY project. So now it is linked to this project. Okay. And it will ask for so what I'll do is now I'll do Superbase. Local schema is that it will get pushed to the remote server. So now it will ask for whether you want to push that schema. It will ask me in another 5, 6. Sorry, in another 1 minute. Then this push will happen. I'll just come back. Yeah, I'll press Y. I'll press Y here. So it already has users. That's why it's complaining. I'll just delete the users. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll just delete the users database and reinitiate this again because this is conflicting with the thing. I'll delete table, delete table. And I'll run this again. Purpose do push. I'll just come back in 2 minutes. I am back. So as you can see, it has applied the migration. So now if I go and see the, are you guys there? So if I go back and see
Yes,
back
sir.
the
Yes, sir.
base, all the schemas has been created. So all the tables has been created. For example, project has been created with all the tables. For example, ID, customer name, status, all the fields it has been created. Similarly, customer also it has created all these things. Okay. So now what will happen is it should automatically connect to the base 44. Okay. So now if I refresh this thing and I'll just run the npm render. So there are couple of things which will happen here. Okay. So basically there is users project for payout follow-up customer approval request. Sometimes what happens is the database name will be not matching with what is expected in the base 44. So I'll just inspect the thing here and go to console or network and this exit tab, so that it will be easier to see which command is failing and which is not failing. So as you can see, it is showing projects bad request. If I go to response, it is showing project created date created by, like this it is showing. So now what will happen is the base 44 and superbase, it is a little different. So what I need to do for every table, I need to go and search created at date. We'll go and search created date and updated date. Okay, these two fields, created date and updated date, and I'll edit the column as created at instead of date. Created at. So it is a time stamp. Previously, it used to be time date object. Now it is a time clock object. So it is created at time instead of created date. Similarly, updated date, I'll edit column as updated at instead of date. Now, if I refresh this page, right, project will come as it is. So if I see project has come without the any error. So what I'll do now is I'll insert a new data, I'll insert a new row with maybe ID as value as null and request type submitted by, reviewed by. All these things I need to fill the details. So I'll fill it as sample false created by. So I can create an empty data here and it will show in the field. So I'll just type a data, for example, request type is view test. This also I'll put test. Okay, this is linked, I think. So I need to not this. Status is active or something. I'll put reviewed by. So ideally, all this data should be created inside the database only. So I'll create it, try to create other inside the app only, so that it does not conflict. Similarly, all the fields, for example, customers also, if I see the inspect, if I go to network, so it will throw the error for that created at time and other things. So I need to do for all the databases, I need to do see project is saying project created date, project created date. So I need to go here and for all the things, for example, approved project users, everything I need to update the created at and updated at time. I'll go here, created at updated at is there for project approval request once. Created at updated at approval request. Customer, I'll do with column created at created at. So all the other schemas I'll keep it as it is. Similarly, follow up also I'll do created it and updated it. So once I do for all the tables, right? I should be able to see no errors in the front end. If I see any one error in the inspector, that means we have not updated the database or schema properly. Updated it. Similarly, payout also do created it. Updated it. So I'll share the access of this database. So now what will happen is project. So now what will happen is we have connected successfully to the database. We have successfully created to the database. We need to add the data, any dummy data we need to add. Okay, any dummy data we need to add, and if it is running on local like this, it will run on any hosted platform also, it will run properly. So now what I'll do is I'll try to maybe add a new customer project. Okay, this one it is not working. So in another dashboard it is working. Okay. So what will happen is I'll just show that I'll add one row into customer and show. Insert arrow. Okay, customer name will be Naveen maybe. Customer ID 123 1 internet phone. I just fill all the details here and save. Just to show and reload email. Secondary image. Appointment status. Null. Customer type I null. Number I don't know. GST I don't know. Booking schedule I don't know. Booking city I put it as Bangalore. Customer ID I don't know. Status I don't know. Created I'll put it as today. Today. This I'll put it as today. Created by I don't know. Is simple false. I'll save this. So one new customer, okay, it is saying failing row contains value in column ID of relation customer non-real fail. No, constant detail. Okay. Detail I need to give, I think. Detail. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Should be video ID, I think. Video ID can be empty.
So I think the ID requires a valid UUID.
UDID, I'll just check. Active customer. Phone number 123. These 2 123. I think all details might be required, but that's why. Let's see. And load active customer ID 1, 2. Project days. 15 days. Date as confirmed. Created by 1, 2. 1, 2. Media relation customer alerts. Okay. Let me check this. Otherwise, what I'll do is schema. No, I'll just import. Project is here. Customer is here.
Sir, I'm putting a sample UUID in our chat.
Yeah, 1 second. So, customer. Yeah, okay. Okay, so UDID, I'll put
Like
this
say
UDID.
characters should be unique. Let's change 1 or 2 characters.
Okay, it is successfully saved. So I think that was the issue. So now, if I refresh, right, it will show me as one customer. It's saying all customers 1 of 0. Let's check this 1 second. Customers. I think we have to put sample as 2. Check. Go. Sample.
Sir, once refresh, sir.
Okay. No, I think I should associate one project with the customer, I think. I'll just check. So, I go to network. If I refresh. Okay, it is doing project. It is not doing customer. Maybe customer is different. It linked to the project. So I'll add project first. Project. Can you give another UDID?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, customer name, project ready, 1, 2, 3, 4, customer name, and city Bangalore, status active, new title today, project review, designer name Vishy, quality high, completion I'll give as it works. So it started I'll give maybe 18th. Notes I'll give as hello. Created today. Created today. Created by ID. I want to sample I'll give none. So yeah, UDID can you give? Okay.
I sent it one in chat.
Thank you. So we have one sample project, and now if I refresh, as you can see, it is showing in the project. Okay, one project it is showing now. It is showing the view console also. So this one it is showing. As you can see, that name and other things it is not matching. So we need to pick from the data and we need to show the actual details. However, I think that ID connection between project and customer, if we do it, this thing will resolve. Between project and customer, if we do, this thing will resolve because this is again picked from the backend. I think this is the sample. So all these we have connected the database now. So now what will happen is again we have other data, other dashboards, right? For example, we have admin dashboard, HR dashboard, and finance dashboard, correct? So what
Yes,
will
sir.
happen is all the 4 dashboards have the same database names. For example, I'll just show what I mean. This is admin dashboard, okay, in the base 44. So now what will happen is we'll use this env local is there, no? We'll use the same superbase for all the dashboards. What will happen is if some dashboard contains, for example, this admin dashboard contains project database means, project table means, we'll use the same project table of, it might be designer dashboard also, it is common for all the admin dashboard, finance dashboard, everything. So even if it is admin dashboard, designer dashboard, finance dashboard, for all the dashboards, yeah, see, here also customer is there, correct? See,
Yes, sir.
this customer and that customer both are same. So what will happen is maybe the number of tables here might increase. It might be 20 tables. But the functionality, it gets interlinked. So if it is a lead quotation, quotation will be common, approvals it will be common, all these things it will be common, just the functionality it will change. So users also, what will happen is will show all the users in the database, whatever is there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Especially the customers and project, it will be common. Rest of the things will be it. Some of the things might be different. For example, this access control also, see, role-based access, individual access means this is taken from the user table. So all the users, whoever has access, will show up here. And each user here will have login for the designer dashboard, etc. Like here it is username. So all the dashboards should be interlinked. This is how we are using common database and common design. However, the different roles like admin and designer, finance and HR, these things it will commonly it will come and we can migrate. Okay. Now for the next 3-4 days, what I want you to do is for you to use all the databases and merge at least 1 or 2 dashboards, admin and designer or admin and HR, to merge this so that when new data is added somewhere, a new data, yeah, see, project also has come up here. So when new data is added somewhere, it will reflect in the database, and it will reflect inside in the will reflect in all the dashboards. The calculation and other things, it is already handled. Even most of the components is already handled. Maybe some configuration might be required in the maybe the statistics and all. No, so for example, it is saying order booked as 22, while there is no order booked here. So these statistics it might change, and for the designer dashboard, the stages might change based on the which dashboard it is. The stages it will be different, like site measurement, site validation. Some people can see only 4 such stages. Some people can see maybe 5-6 stages, things like that. Habib, any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, so this is one, and similarly there is teams and other things also, which shows this kind of dashboard. This also everything must be real data, but right now it is not real data. We will figure that out. Going forward, we'll do that, and this also upload, rejected, all these things it should show. And especially in the admin also, we need to do customers and quotations and other things. Quotations, products. Products, it is we need to, yeah, here again product database is there where add category, add product. They can just directly add the product. So everything is handled. Only database we need to connect, and we need to maybe some small component changes. That's all. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts with the Base44 to custom project migration?
No, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
a couple of questions.
Yeah.
So when we're doing, like, we're giving the prompt to the base 64, for 44, it is generating our projects. So we are
Correct.
exporting the scaffold of that project, right?
We are exploring the snapshot.
I mean, exporting the
Short, is it?
scaffold of that project. Yeah.
No, we are exporting entire source code of that project.
So which kind of source code it was generating? Like, is it using React or any
For
other
example, if
technologies?
I go to source, it is React White and hooks it is using, and it is React White and Tailwind White and Post CSS.
Okay. So behind the scene, it is using those technologies.
Behind the scene, it is using those things, and components also, right? It is very modular. For example, if I show this, it is very modular code that Base44 generates.
Okay, got it. So
As
now
you can
we
see,
only need to
React
like,
and
yeah, for the migration part, we only need to like update some the parts of database and other things, and only to check like is it really
correct,
connecting the real database. Okay, sir.
connect the real database only we need to,
Hmm.
and components, if it is not working, we need to maybe change the components.
Got it, sir. Actually, we
But most of the
already
things
have
it
all
will
those
work
things.
as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it, sir.
Any questions you were asking something?
Yeah, no, sir.
No. Okay. Okay. So this one again, we have some changes also, because what has happened is client has asked for some of the design changes. Design changes as in, for example, I showed you that PDF, right? In the you also know, right, Rishi, that PDF. So maybe it should be
Yes, sir.
something like in this dashboard, right? Maybe change the name of this in production to order completed. So like this, text changes and such things are there. But rest of the things, it is all same only. And just to be clear, we have 4 main dashboards, which is designer dashboard, HR dashboard, finance dashboard, and admin dashboard. Okay. However, there are 21 roles. Like 21 roles means 16 designer dashboards are there. Like design manager, designer, senior designer, like that 21 roles are there. So what will happen is, in the designer dashboard, for the maybe senior designer, etc., this some of the components might not be there. For example, team management is only visible for sales, designer manager. It won't be there for normal designer. So that deleting for one role and editing for one role, that thing will be there. And what will happen is, we need to configure the role-based access, which means right now this Base44 to custom SDK, this has completely removed the authentication. If you observe, authentication, it has completely removed. What we need to do is, we need to put a common login page for all the dashboard, so that when we log in, it will log into the correct dashboard. That again we can do it with AI coding platforms like Jules and other things. I'll also give the training of how to use that. Where, for example, if we log out and if we log in, that what I would advise is, don't do custom coding. Do not do custom coding. Use AI coding, where maybe Cloud Code or some cursor or something you can use, cursor AI, so that all your tasks will be accelerated. I'll give the training on that also, how to use all these AI coding agents to speeden up the projects and speeden up your coding exercise. I think Habib has used some of them, right?
I normally use ChatGPT or Gemini.
ChatGPT or Gemini. Okay. I think Jules is using Gemini only. Google Jules you can search for. I'll just share the link once again. It is also free and it gives the pull request inside the GitHub repository. This one. You can connect to GitHub and it is using Gemini on the backend. I'll just show one of them. How I am using it. Yeah, see, many of my projects I'm using Jules. Many of my GitHub projects I'm using Jules to connect and so basically what it does is you can give the prompt to give it a software engineering task. For example, I have given here I have given some task like once the is hit, also delete some task I have given, and it has completed the task and it has generated a pull request and a branch. So this is very fast and it uses Gemini and it gives 15 to 100 tasks daily. And the advantage is that all these tasks are asynchronous. So you need not be available on the system to do this, complete this, unlike the cursor and other things. It will do on its backend and it will update the PR. Like even in the night, if you give the task, by morning it will finish the task. So things like that. So going forward, I'll just teach this all these things. But this is how we generally do the base 44 to local super base migration. Any other questions or doubts you guys are having?
No,
No,
sir.
sir, right now.
Okay. This recording anyway it will get saved and you will also get the AI meeting recording. So we'll see that and if any doubts you can refer that. Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Thank you guys. We will connect again tomorrow morning.
Hi everyone. Today we'll learn how to migrate a Base44 app to our local system and run it on local system so that you have no dependency on Base44. So let's select a project. For example, I have selected this particular project and I want to deploy this on local system. What I'll do is I have a paid subscription on Base44. So I will export the project as zip file first. So it is downloaded. Next I'll extract the zip file and I'll try to run it using the traditional npm commands, which is npm install. I'll open a terminal and type npm install. Because this is a React plus white project front in the front end. Yeah, I have installed the node packages. Now I'll do something like npm run dev, which if everything is fine, the app will start running. So now if you see, the app gives an error. it says white Base44 base URL not set. What I'll do is I'll share this URL with you. It's a migration script for self-hosting Base44 apps. I'll share this link with you so that you guys also can use the same to install the dependencies, etc. So first we'll install the Supabase database migrator. And then we'll install the .env as well as vi test framework. Then you need to clone this particular repository, and you need to copy the source library, Supabase client and custom SDK.js as well as Base44 client.js. These directories you need to copy and paste into the current project. So I have it already with me here. Here in this directory. So what I'll do is I'll copy these API and live.js. I'll copy these, come back, and I'll just paste it in this directory. I'll just paste it in this directory. I'll merge the files. I'll now run it npm rundev. And it still says base URL not set. So what I'll do is I'll create a .env file. I'll say touch.env, and I'll set white44 base44 base URL is equal to, I'll say localhost 5173. I'll test whether if it's working. As you can see, the project is working. However, the database is not working. As you can see, the project is working perfectly fine. The UI, UX, etc. is imported. However, if I inspect and if I see the console, if I see the network tab and refresh this page, as you can see, the database is still not imported. So what I'll do is I'll go back to Base44 and I'll copy this particular command, which is I need to export from Base44 so that I can import to Supabase. I'll I'll copy the entire thing and I will paste it here. I need to export all my application data in a format I can easily import into Supabase. Please provide the data in the following format. Export format requirements. Provide data as SQL insert statements compatible with Postgres. Include proper UUID generation for primary keys. Use ISO 8601 format for all timestamps. Escape all text properly for SQL insertion. Includes foreign relationship correctly. Please add this export functionality in a new page. For this, I'll submit this now. Meanwhile, I'll go and create a account in Supabase. So I'm signed into Supabase. I'll create a new project. Call it PMP demo. I'll check if Supabase. I'll check if Base44 has created the database schema for me to export. It has not yet generated. I'll wait for the generation as well as I'll wait for the Supabase to get completed. Now, if I go back to the self-hosting guide, as you can see, I need to create these things in env file. So I'll go ahead and open the env file and I'll copy paste these things so that I can copy this and I can then export. So as you can see, the copy and download Supabase export button is implemented. So I'll go here and I'll generate the SQL file. I'll download the SQL file. I'll copy this SQL file. I'll open this. Okay. So these are the SQL commands to import the database. So I'll go to the Supabase and I'll go to SQL editor and I'll paste the query here and I'll click on run. As you can see, all the data has been imported. It shows success. I'll go back to table editor now. As you can see, all the tables, required tables and some of the data have been imported. Now the challenge is to connect to this database. So what I'll do is I'll go to project overview. I'll go to project settings in Supabase. I'll go to API keys. I'll go to legacy unknown keys and I'll copy this anonymous key. I'll go to the env file and I'll paste this anonymous key. Similarly, I'll copy this service role key. So I have set up the project. Now I need to copy the project settings. I'll go to general and I'll copy the project ID, or better I'll go to the home and I'll copy this project URL. So now if I refresh the page in Base44 in the local, and I go to network tab and I refresh, as you can see project, it says some error, which is perhaps you meant projects in the could not find the table project in the schema cache. So sometimes what happens is the table name is not imported properly. In that case, I'll change the project name here in the superbase. I'll rename this table. I'll say edit table and I'll rename it as project. Save. Now if I refresh, yeah, this is again a bug with Superbase, which is there are two uh, rows or columns in the Superbase table which you need to change, which is created date and created at column. So I'll say created at, save. Instead of created date, I'll rename it as created date. And similarly, the updated date, I'll rename it as updated at, save. So now if I refresh the local host, as you can see the test project we have is imported. Now the same has happened for feature, checklist, change, request and milestone. So as you can see, features, it needs to be changed to feature. So everything is in plural, however I need to change it to singular, and I need to make the tables, rename the created at and updated tables. So I'll edit this table and I'll rename it as milestone, save. I will go to created at date to, I'll make it created at. Similarly, I'll make updated date. I'll change it to updated at. Similarly, features, I'll change it to feature, save. And I'll change updated at and created at as the, instead of created at, date and updated date. Edit updated at. Now I have deliverables. I'll change it to deliverable. So these are just minute changes when you have to migrate from Base44 to local. This is not so much pain when compared to the extensive support which Base44 gives to For you to wipe code a project, I'll edit this column and I'll write updated at. So again, you can use the Superbase cloud, or you can also use the Superbase local for your use cases. Checklist item, save. Again, as you can see, checklist item has a lot of data. So we'll see if it is getting updated properly. This will be updated at. This will be created at. This table we need to rename it as change request. Edit table change request. So as you can see, all the schema has been imported properly. So you need not change any of the schema because it will be imported properly from Base44. I'll just change these two columns, which is created at. And updated at. So I have modified all the tables. Now if I go back and I refresh this app, as you can see, all the tables are getting imported properly. So I can test this app as well. For example, I can edit project. I can go to the calculator. I can go to the checklist. As you can see, all the data has been imported properly. So this applies whatever the number of database tables you have, this will work, and you can easily use this. Now the next part of this is you can deploy it to a cloud server from localhost to any cloud server of your choice. That's a lesson for another day. Um, I hope you found this session or lecture useful of how to migrate from a Base44 cloud project to a Base44 local project. Thank you.